If you manage Google Ads, you've spent a lot of time staring at dashboards and exporting CSVs. This video is about a setup that changes this, connecting Claude directly to your Google Ads account using something called MCP. We'll cover what it is, how you can set it up, what you can do with it, the prompts that work best, and a few things to keep in mind before you go all in. So let's get into it. First, let's look at what MCPs are. Now, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard built by Anthropic that lets Claude connect directly to external tools and platforms. Think of it as a plug that lets Claude tap into live data rather than just answering questions from its training. Before this existed, using Google Ads and AI together had two real problems, right? One, you had to copy and paste your data manually. Two, the AI had no idea what happened in your account yesterday. Basically, its knowledge was frozen. MCP fixes both of these. Claude connects directly to your Google Ads account, runs queries against live data, and gives you analysis in plain English, all inside a single conversation. It's looking at your account and responding directly to what it sees there. That's MCP in a nutshell, a direct live connection between Claude and your Google Ads. Now let's look at how to set up MCP using Claude, right? It's way simpler than it sounds, especially if you go the no-code route. Here's how it works, right? There are two ways to do this. The first and the most common one is through Zapier because it requires no code and it takes about 5 minutes. You go to your Claude settings, click integrations, then add a new integration. From there, you look for the Zapier MCP connector. Zapier walks you through connecting your Google Ads account, and once that's done, you just copy a URL and paste it back to Claude. That's it, right? You'll know when it's working when you ask Claude to pull your last 7 days of campaign data and it returns real numbers. The second route is for teams who want more control. Maybe you're an agency managing multiple clients or you don't want data routing through a third party. In that case, there are open source MCP servers on GitHub that you can deploy yourself. You'll need someone comfortable with a terminal and you'll need API access from Google, which typically takes a day or two to get approved. But once it's running, you get full access to queries across manager accounts. For most people, start with Zapier. You can always move to a developer setup when you need it later. Once connected, you only have to do the setup once. It stays active across your Claude conversations. Now let's look at what you can truly use MCPs for. Here's where it gets useful, right? The things Claude can do once it's connected to your Google Ads account. The most immediate use is performance analysis. Instead of opening Google Ads every morning and trying to make sense of the charts, you just ask Claude what happened. It pulls the data, aggregates it, and gives you a clear summary. Which campaigns performed, which didn't, what needs attention, and so on. Beyond that, one of the more practical use cases is negative keyword mining. You can ask Claude to pull your search term report, find queries that got clicks but no conversions, and hand you back a couple of grouped lists of negatives ready to add. This is usually a 30-minute task, but you're not doing this in one prompt. The other case is for ad copy. Claude can pull every active ad variation in a campaign, compare CTR, conversion rate, and CPA side by side and tell you what's working and what isn't. And then it can also suggest new variations based on the same data. It can also track budget pacing, flagging campaigns that are on pace to exhaust budget early or ones that are under delivering. And for a full account audit, quality scores, missing extensions, disapproved ads, impression share issues, Claude can walk through all of that in a single session and return a prioritized list of fixes. The quality of what Claude returns depends a lot on how you ask. Here are the prompts that are getting the best results with Google Ads MCP. For performance reporting, a prompt like this works well. Pull campaign, performance for the last 7 days, and so on. Replaces a decent chunk of your weekly reporting work where it's literally flagging significant week changes. For anomaly detection, which is another use case, you can use this prompt. Check yesterday's performance against a 7-day average, flag any campaigns for spend, CTR or conversion rate deviated by more than 20%. For negative keywords, you can use something like this. Pull the search term report for all campaigns, find queries with more than 5 clicks and 0 conversions. And for a full-blown audit, use this prompt. Check for disapproved ads, missing site link extensions, campaigns with no conversions in 30 days, ad groups with single keywords, and campaigns with low impression share due to budget. Return a prioritized action list. Now, the pattern across all of these is the same. Be specific about the time range, the metric you care about, and the format you want back. Now, before you hand your Google Ads account over to Claude, here are a few things worth keeping in mind. And this comes from people in Triple Dart who've already been using this setup. The most important one, keep yourself in the loop. Before anything gets applied to a live account, especially around bids, review it yourself. The next one, if you're using the developer route and working with Claude Code, it's worth setting up a claude.mt context file. This is basically a persistent instruction set to Claude. The next tip is, when writing prompts, scope your date ranges. The Google Ads API has rate limits, and specifying this keeps queries fast and avoids hitting limits. And the final one is, if Claude generates a script, which it can do well once it's seen your account data, test it first in a preview environment. So that's the full picture of how Claude and Google Ads MCP work together, what it is, how to connect it, what it can do, and the prompts to use. If you're managing Google Ads accounts and this isn't part of your workflow yet, it's worth spending 5 minutes to set it up.